Good day, everyone. My name is Adeosin, and I am the group leader for Group 4 from Actuarial Science, and we'll be speaking on business conversation. What is a business conversation? A business conversation is a dialogue between two or more parties for the purpose of achieving a specific goal. And this conversation can actually take place in various settings like online messaging, face-to-face conferencing, video calls, and even video conferencing. Business conversation can also cover a wide range of topics, from sales to marketing to customer service to finance and even human resource. Business communication can also be very formal or informal, depending on the type of participants that are involved. Effective business communication requires good communication skill, active listening, clear speaking, and the ability to convey ideas and information in a clear and compelling manner. So what are the main ideas of business conversations? The main ideas of business conversation can vary depending on the specific goal and context of the conversation, but here are some common themes. 1. Establishing and maintaining relationships. Business conversation in recent times has helped to establish better communication and build relationships with customers, suppliers, partners, and other stakeholders. This includes showing interest in their needs and concerns, being responsible to their inquiries and requests, and demonstrating a willingness to work together. The next is communicating information. Business conversations are a way to share information and ideas, such as product or service offering, negotiating terms and agreements, or providing updates on project status. The next one is problem solving. Business communication in recent times has helped to solve problems, usually between customers and suppliers. And the next is negotiation. Many business conversations involve negotiation, such as pricing, terms, or deadlines. Effective negotiation requires a willingness to compromise and find a mutually beneficial solution. And the last but not the least is decision making. Business conversations can be used to make decisions. This requires careful consideration of opinions, weighing pros and cons, and coming to a consensus. Overall, the main goal of business conversation is to achieve a specific objective, whether it is choosing to close a sale, resolving a conflict, or reaching a decision. Effective communication and relationship building are key components of successful business conversation. Subsequently, in this video, my group members will explain what are the other key areas in better business conversation, how to manage a conflict, planning a productive meeting.
Good day, my name is Okori Antonia, and I'm here to talk about the general etiquette for telephone communication. So we have 1. Answer the phone promptly and politely. When you receive a phone call, try to answer it as soon as possible and give the caller a very polite response. The second one, identify yourself. When you answer the phone, identify yourself and your company or department so they know they've reached the right person. Thirdly, speak clearly and slowly. It is very, very important to speak slowly when on the phone, especially if the caller has difficulty in hearing you. The fourth one, listen attentively. You are supposed to pay close attention to whatever the caller is saying and ask questions to clarify any confusion. The fifth one, be professional. Maintain a professional tone and avoid using slangs or inappropriate language. The sixth one, end the call politely. When the conversation is over, thank the caller for their time. So I'll talk about specific techniques for telephone communication. The first one, use an appropriate tone of voice. Your tone of voice can convey a lot about your attitude and intentions. Secondly, use positive language. Use positive language to convey a friendly and helpful attitude. Be patient. Some callers may be nervous, angry, or confused, so try to practice empathy when talking. The fourth one, practice active listening. Show the caller that you are engaged in the conversation by actively listening and responding to their questions. The fifth one, repeat important information. If the caller provides important information such as their names or phone number, try to repeat and make sure you're accurate. Last one, use headsets. If you frequently use the phone for work, consider using a headset to improve the sound quality and reduce the strain on your neck and shoulders. Thank you.
My name is Adeosin, and I'm speaking on other techniques for telephone communications. As you know, we have other techniques which we use for telephone communications. So the first one is putting call on hold. Now, when you are putting the call on hold, you need to ask the caller before putting them on hold and wait for an affirmative answer from them before you put them on hold. And you need to be polite and thank them, especially the callers, for permission granted in order for you to put them on hold, and tell them that you return to the call shortly. Next, always remember who you have on hold and you need to call them back periodically, and you should thank them for holding. So now I want to talk about when transferring telephone calls. Now, when you need to transfer telephone calls to a different department other than the one in which you are, you need to tell the caller why you are transferring them to the particular department, and also confirm with the caller if it's cool or alright before you transfer. In summary, following these etiquette tips and techniques to improve your telephone communication skills and create a polite impression about yourself to your callers. Thank you.
My name is Actuarial. I'm here to talk about the process and the technique for planning, facilitating, and participating in productive meetings online and face-to-face. Planning productive meetings, you first need to determine the objectives of the meeting and decide what needs to be done and accomplished during the meeting and communicate to the participants for the meeting. 2, choose the right participants. So you invite only those that are necessary for the meeting. You don't just invite anybody. The third one is to schedule the meeting at a convenient time. You need to be considerate. You need to pick the right time that is favorable for everybody. Number 4, you create an agenda. You develop a concise agenda outlining the meeting topics and schedule and share it with the right participants. Number 5, you select process tools to help participants engage them in meaningful ways, discussion, and decision making. And then the processing tools can be a ways of brainstorming and soliciting for ideas. Number 6, identify background materials. This covers are the resources that are required to run a meeting successfully. The next one, plan the meeting location and space. Plan the meeting location and space. There should be a comfortable, accessible, and convenient location for participants. So now let's talk about stages in executing a productive meeting. What are the things you need to do? The first one, you need to open the meeting. Open the meeting by sharing agenda, recognizing the individual participants, and also create a warm atmosphere. The second stage, assign roles and determine responsibilities. The third one, get into discussion, start the conversation following the 3 stages of the conversation, generating ideas, organizing ideas, and categorizing and evaluating the ideas. The fourth one, document the conversation. The fifth one, you summarize the meeting and confirm action items. And the last one, you evaluate the meeting and close the meeting. Evaluation should be done immediately the meeting is done. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Olatunji Olasukomi, and I'll be presenting facilitating productive meetings. Here, they include number 1, start on time, that is, begin the meeting on time to demonstrate respect for everyone's time. Number 2, you have to stick to the agenda. Follow the agenda and keep the meeting focused on the objectives. Number 3, encourage participation. Encourage all participants to contribute and provide opportunities for feedback and discussions. Number 4, manage interruptions such as conversations or technical difficulties to keep the meeting on track. And the final point, which is summarize key points. Summarize key points and decisions made during the meeting to ensure everyone is clear on what was discussed. Thank you.
My name is Adeni Oraoluwa, and I'll be taking managing conflict and disruptive behaviors in meetings. So number one, we have established ground rules for communication and behaviors. We have to clearly communicate to all participants what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Number two, you have to address the conflict directly and early so as to avoid any conflict that arises during the meeting. So number three, we have to practice active listening skills and empathy. They encourage participants to actively listen to one another. Number four, we have to practice positive language and tone. So number five, you focus on the problem and not the person. In meetings, whenever a problem arises, you have to focus on the problem and not the person. Number six, you have to seek common ground that every participant must have an area of agreement. Number seven, be flexible and be open-minded. Encourage every participant to be open-minded and be willing to accept different perspectives. Number eight, know when to involve a neutral third party. This is in a situation whereby a conflict cannot be resolved in a meeting. So we bring in third parties as a mediator. And number nine, take breaks if necessary. That's if tensions are high between participants, so you have to take breaks in between. Number 10, follow up after the meeting. After every meeting, follow up with every participant. Thank you. My name is Gibbs Emeju, and I will be taking participating in productive meetings. So to participating in productive meetings, we have to prepare ahead of time. You have to review the agenda and necessary materials beforehand to prepare for the meeting. Also, you have to participate actively, to engage in the discussion and to provide input and feedback when appropriate and necessary. You also have to listen attentively or actively. So you listen to other participants and gain their own understanding of the discussions. You also have to be respectful. You treat all participants with respect and courtesy, and you don't interrupt or talk over others. You also have to follow up on action items. You follow up on any action item that's assigned to you during the meeting, and you provide updates when necessary. Online meeting techniques. For online meeting techniques, you have to first of all use a reliable platform. So you choose a reliable platform that's okay for all participants when they have the necessary technology and access. Also, you have to test all your equipment and connections before the meeting to avoid technical difficulties. Use video calls. Video conferencing promotes engagement and establishes personal connections. Also, you also have to manage background noises. So you mute microphones when you are not speaking. Then you use chat functions to communicate in real time. You ask questions and you share links or documents.
Please, next slide. Face-to-face meeting techniques. Face-to-face meeting techniques. Number one, choose the right venue. The venue for the meeting. Okay, haven't I said? Okay. My name is Daniel Olutayo, and I'm here to discuss on the face-to-face meeting techniques. The first one is to choose the right venue. The venue for the meeting should be considered in order to achieve the objective of the meeting. The next, provide refreshment. It is important that refreshments like water or coffee should be made available to participants in order to get them engaged. The next, use visual aids. Visual aids such as presentation slides, whiteboards should be used in order to support the meeting. The next is manage distractions. Distractions like outside noise and phone calls should be eliminated in order to ensure that the meeting is being focused upon. The next is follow proper etiquette. Etiquette such as arriving on time, dressing appropriately, and ensuring that all other etiquettes are being maintained. Thank you.